Bruchim haboim b'shem Hashem. On a day that is so difficult and so challenged for all of us to be happy, to find simcha, the fact that Chazak should gather everybody together 24 hours around the clock, and Torah Anytime, that magnanimous organization, should broadcast around the world to unite Klal Yisrael. Anytime when there is a unification, when we gather together, there is an achdut. It is the single greatest simcha in Klal Yisrael. Tzoras Rabim, Chatzi Nechama. The fact that we're all sitting together is already half of comfort. It's already a chizuk to all of us to be able to sit together and to talk about Tisha B'Av, to talk about Binyan Beit HaMikdash, that the temple should be rebuilt. There isn't a greater simcha than all of us being together. There is just a fascinating idea concerning Tisha B'Av. Any time when a person will exert themselves, whatever it is, in whichever area it is, when a person will go the extra mile, there'll be Moser Nefesh. Hashem says, you are Moser Nefesh, I will make sure that I'm able to go beyond what Klal Yisrael was supposed to have for a bracha. We see this in many different ways, but I would like to bring it out from an incident that we are all familiar with. Hashem says, for anybody that can watch themselves, Maver al midotav, we are careful. My friend didn't treat me right, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be quiet. I got something with the shidduch, and then all of a sudden it went sour, and I'm very upset about it, but I didn't say anything. I let it go by. I came into the shul, somebody is sitting in my seat that I gave money for. I get upset. I need my seat. That's where I pray. That's where I want. I don't say anything. I say it's okay. An individual that was hurt by somebody, insulted, Maver al midotav. You insulted me, I'm not going to do anything back. I'm not going to seek to get back to you in any way. Exactly the opposite. I will be mishalem tova tachat ra'ah. You did something bad to me, I'll do something good for you. Torah Anytime. It reaches around the world 1,000,000 times. We do not even realize the high tech. We don't realize on a level of Kabbalah what Torah Anytime is doing at this moment around the world everywhere. Happens to be, we have the great zechut. Rabbi Shimon is here and Rabbi Reuben is here. I must tell this over of someone that went the extra mile, of exerted themselves, that I only know through Torah Anytime. Rabbi, all the years, does the Pirkei Avot every Motzei Shabbat, every Saturday night. Rabbi pushed me from the very beginning, the Pirkei Avot. So I do the Pirkei Avot every Motzei Shabbat, never, ever, ever misses. He is like a slave driver, a good one. And I got to listen, if I didn't send it over in time, he'll be very gentle. Rabbi, I'm not sure that you sent it. I don't know if it's there yet. I don't know if I got it. I got to put it up. What shall I tell you? He is the single reason why there is a lot of Torah, because he doesn't stop night and day to make sure him. And so it happened to be this spring that the shir in Pirkei Avos happened to be talking about Maver al Midotav. Somebody does something to you and you let it go. You don't worry about it. You let it go. Someone was not nice to you and you let it go. And it happens on so many different areas. Someone was supposed to give you something, and when you got it, it wasn't the right thing. And you feel that perhaps even they weren't honest with you. And it was very difficult to take, and you wanted to speak out, and you wanted to let others know. You wanted to say something. I just want to talk about it, but I know it's asur, lashon hara. I got to get it out. I have to try to make it even, but you don't, because we know that you shouldn't. The person that does this and is quiet has the zchut like Yitzchak Avinu on top of the altar, on the Mizbeach, at the time of Akedat Yitzchak. And so we had that shir, and it was on in the springtime. And usually the shir goes around, and people listen. And occasionally, if I see somebody at a simcha or a chazak event or another place, they'll come over and they say, I heard the shir. Or if a person has a question about the shir, Rabbi, you said that if you do this mitzvah, that it is one of the greatest mitzvot, that it can even be, if there's anger in the air, it can dissipate the anger of Hashem. Matan b'seser yich be'af. The person that gives a tzedakah and nobody knows about it. It's quiet. No name. Nobody will ever find out. And you gave the tzedakah, yich be'af. Even chas v'shalom, we deserve that Hashem should be angry. It cancels it out. Person came over to me and says, how much do you have to give? Which way is it give? How does it operate? Because I feel that there's af in the world right now, and I would like to get rid of it. Happened to be that this person didn't see me. They couldn't see me because they live in South Africa. I'm not going to run into them in a simcha. I mean, I hope I will. I'm not going to see them. I don't know, is chazak in South Africa? Probably. It'll be there. We can't find them. However, Torah Anytime is in South Africa. So I get a call from South Africa. It happens to be that it is a young man. The young man said, Rabbi, I'm a little upset. I said, why? He says, because I just watched that shir in which you're talking about Maver al Midotav, that you don't care and you let it go and you're mochel the person, you forgive them and you're not upset. And I just heard it and I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I cannot listen. It's too difficult for me. I don't have to do it, do I? I said, what's the problem? He said, I want you to know, I was going out. I'm not that young. Going out with a young woman. Everything looked very good. It looked so good that we're going to get engaged and get married. For the first time in my life, I was happy. People ask me why I'm smiling. The first time in life, I came in the Beit Midrash and I shook everybody's hands, good Shabbos, instead of running out. The first time in my life, when I got up in the morning, Ezeh Simcha, I said, Moida Ani. I was so happy. First time in my life began to change, to turn around. I took care of myself. Instead, I walk in like this with a coat. I came in and I started to take a little bit better care. Instead, when I used to have my pants and they used to be like rolled up, I made sure that I went well. After all, I'm going to be a chatan. I'm going to be a groom. My whole life changed. I was getting ready to go to the Vort, the L'chaim, to celebrate the engagement. Eza simcha. V'hu kechatan yotzei mechupato, yotziz kigibor l'rutz orach. Nothing happier than a chatan and a kala. There's no simcha that is as great. There is no simcha that I have to go and I have to be misameach and I have to dance and sing in front of them. And when they're coming down the street, the aisle, that white sheet, I could be gadol adar. I stand up for them. I stand up for the melech, for the king and the malka. I could be the greatest rabbi. The kala is under that chair. The kala is there by the badekin. I hand to her a little patek, a kvitel. Could you please pray for me? I could be the greatest rabbi. I give to the chatan. Can you please take this page? Have me in mind. I need your tefillot. We should know how many people were answered from a chatan and a kala. How many people got brachot from a chatan and kala that came true. They finish under the chuppah. They finish the coast, the wine. I ran up. I want to have just the remnant of the mitzvah, shiarei mitzvah. I just want to take it. I want the zechut because they got married with that cup of wine. And so this young man who listened to the shiur on Torah Anytime said he was preparing to go to his vort, to his l'chaim. He gets a message on the telephone call to call the shadchan on his phone. He calls the shadchan. The shadchan said, I would like to come over to talk with you. Why? I would rather tell you in person. Okay. He comes, the shadchan, they sit down in the living room, and the shadchan says to this great, great young man, Michael, I don't know how to tell this. I asked for the last hour that Hashem should put the words in my mouth that I should be able to say it correctly to you. Your kala just canceled the shidduch. She wants to completely be mevatel the shidduch. I tried with everything that I have in order to get it back on. She would not listen. I cannot get anybody to listen. They've canceled everything for tonight. Michael hears this from up here. He goes down there. From being on top of the world, from having the happiness that he looked for a whole life, in one moment, choshech, darkness, and he's down on the ground. He says to me, you know, as bad as things were, I never thought to be ma'abed atzmo ladat. I never thought, chas v'sholom, to do anything to myself. But that night, Satan came to me and wanted to give me a knife. And I'm standing, listening in New York. I couldn't sit down. Standing, I was too nervous, listening to this young man from South Africa. And he said, it took me everything that I could not to do anything to myself. I'm so angry. I was in the middle of writing a very, very bitter letter to my former Kala and to her parents. And I was going to publish it in the community because I'm finished anyhow. So it don't matter what happens to me. I really don't care. I wrote out the letter. And then, while I'm writing it, because I'm not so great, and I don't have such great abilities in writing, I got the notice, Torah Anytime. There's a shir. I tell you the truth, I was going crazy. I didn't put the shir on so much that I want to learn Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. I put the shir on. Maybe a little sanity. Maybe it'll just hold me. Maybe I won't slip. And you came on. And you start talking about Maver al Midot. You start talking about letting it go. You start talking about all different cases where a person should let the individual be mochel, forgive them, go past it, swallow it, take some steps back. Don't hold a grudge. Don't look for nekama. Don't look for revenge. Don't try and stand up against the other person. Walk away from it. Be mochel. Say I'm sorry. Say I forgive them. Rabbi, I'm calling you right now. I put the pause on the shir. Certainly this is not the law in my situation. Certainly it doesn't apply here. Certainly I don't have to be mochel anybody. I am allowed to send this letter as difficult and as hard as it is, and it'll blow up. And people will see it, and it will get around, and everybody will know the avla that was committed against me. Everyone will know what happened and how people didn't treat me right. That's what I should do, isn't it? I said, Michael, I feel terrible for you. I only wish that I could be in Johannesburg together with you. I only wish I could sit down with you and talk with you and learn together with you and be misameach you. The din is the same exact like you're hearing on it. Ein mikra ba'alma, there ain't no coincidence in this world. If you're watching something and it's on there this evening, it's a message for you. Borei olam. Put the machshava in my mind that I should talk about that particular inyan. Only because it was going to be played on Torah Anytime and eventually seen by the one person in the world that maybe had to see it in South Africa, in Johannesburg. I said to him, it's for you. It's for you. It's a bitter pill to swallow. It's not easy. Not easy to be mochel. Not easy to walk away. Not easy somebody hurt you and you just say, it's okay, and leave. I said, but if you can do it, if you can take the letter that you wrote, you can rip it up into 100 pieces. You can take the letter by bior chametz and burn it together with all the other chametz. If you can do it, I tell you right now, I am jealous of your zechut. I am jealous of what will be for you in your life. You'll have so many brachot, you have no idea what's coming into your life. And so, we talked for quite a while, and he wanted to try to listen He says it's difficult. He says, Rabbi, how about if I just save the letter but I don't rip it up? No. Eis lasos l'Hashem meferu torotecha. Now is the time you take the letter and you rip it up. You rip it up. Just ripping the letter itself, I promise you, for every little piece that you rip, another brachot. You rip it into 100 pieces, mea brachot, 100. If you can rip it into 1,000, I promise you 1,000 brachot. So, we talked a little bit longer. He broke down and cried on the telephone, and he said, I will do it. I will do it. If that's your message, I will do it. I felt terrible. Chatan, on the day he's supposed to be engaged, and the exact opposite happens, and he gets the biggest klap in his life. I felt very bad. Let me tell you what happened. He had a few difficult weeks. He had a few very, very difficult weeks where it was hard for him. He called me one time that he was walking down one of the main streets. By accident, the former Kala was walking exactly this way, and he saw her. He didn't say one word. Ezeh gvura, what might not to say a word. What do we learn? In the slichot, when it comes to the slichot, we say about the great Avraham Avinu, Misha anala Avraham Avinu bahara Moriah. Hashem who listened to the tefillah of Avraham Avinu on Har Moriah, hu ya'anenu, he should answer us. The tefillah of Avraham Avinu, Bahar HaMoriah, by Akedat Yitzchak, by the sacrificing of Yitzchak. Asked the great tzaddik, Reb Yitzchak Tuvia Weiss, who was the Gaon of Beis Din of Yerushalayim. Where do we find anywhere that Avraham Avinu prayed on Har HaMoriah? We learn all of it. We learned that Yitzchak asked, Ayeh aseh le'olah, where is the sheep that we're going to slaughter? Hinei ha'esh va'etzim. We know the discussions back and forth. We know Avraham Avinu said, stay over here to the two young people, stay there, v'ani v'anar ne'elchu ad kon. We're going to go to the mountain. We're going to do the sacrifice. All of that we know, all the discussions of Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, they called out to. What did the Malach say? Avraham Avinu, Atas lo me'umah. Don't do anything to him. Avraham Avinu, even when Hashem called out and said, don't do the Akedah, don't do the sacrifice, Avraham Avinu was still going to do it. Hashem called out. The Malach called out, Atas lo me'umah. Don't do anything. But everybody, where do we find that Avraham Avinu said a tefillah? Where do we find that? What prayer did he say? None. If you take a look in the entire Parsha of Akedah, you will not find it at all. However, says the great Rav Weiss the following. Vayikra Avraham Shem HaMakom Ahu Hashem Yireh. Hashem Yireh. Avraham Avinu named that place after this great incident, Hashem Yireh. Avraham was mitpalel. Avraham prayed, ask rachamim from Hashem, that when one of the children of Yitzchak would go to a time, which is a time when they're pressed, a time when it's extremely, extremely challenging, a time of great nisayon, a time when they can't take it anymore, And in that moment, Yizkor Lahem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they will remember Hashem at that moment, and they will stand strong. They will stand strong at that moment, and they will not do what would have been the wrong thing, to give in. They would have been upset, yelled back at the person. They would have taken revenge. They would have done something, and they wouldn't stand strong. So then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will remember this for Dorot, for generations. That was the tefillah of Avraham Avinu. Anybody that will act like Avraham Avinu, it may be very difficult. To stay away from an Averah is not simple. Anybody that says, I don't have any challenges, I can stay away from Averot, easy for me, not a problem. You know that person is not telling the truth. Yetzer hara comes in many different forms, many different ways. The person that is sat upon by Yetzer hara, and the individual said, I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I will leave. I will run out in the middle. I don't care who's pressuring me. I don't care the money. I don't care what it is on the other side of the Averah, of what is wrong to do. I'm not doing it. I'm here. Says Rav Weiss, that person will be zocheh to the tefillah of Avraham Avinu, that anybody that stands back, anybody that can be omed b'nisayon, they can stand to the challenge, lehismoded im hanisayon, that person has the bracha of Avraham Avinu. That's what it says, Misha Ana. Who answered Avraham Avinu at that time, means for every generation. You and I, Tufshin Pehei, you and I, Nisayon, every day practically a Nisayon. When we are strong, when we are Omed b'Nisayon, Hashem says, I give to you the bracha as if you would have been up there on the mountain together with Avraham Avinu and Yitzchak. I say that to everybody here. I cannot tell you the feelings that I had speaking to this young man in South Africa. I was mitpalel for him every day, but it didn't matter. He had already the tefillah of Avraham Avinu. It so happens, someone had heard, somebody heard about what went on with the Chatan and the Kala, and that he did not say a word, he didn't make a call, he didn't write a letter, he didn't spread any Lashon Hara. The father said, I have a daughter. I want for my daughter a Bal Midot. I don't need somebody that doesn't have Midot. I need someone that will treat people nicely. I need someone that will treat her like a princess. The father heard about this young man in Johannesburg, called up, found out who the former Shadchan was, called that Shadchan and said, I would like to know if you would think about making a shidduch with that guy that they dropped. Shadchan made the shidduch. B'sha'a tova mutzlachat. They're going to get married. Imagine he wouldn't have stood up to the Nisayon. Imagine he would have written that letter and sent it. Imagine he would have went to the Beit Midrash and started talking to people. Imagine he would have said something about the family. Imagine he would never have been zocheh to the tefillah of Avraham Avinu. That special tefillah is open to all of us, especially on Tisha B'Av, when we have to clear up all the Ben Adam L'Chavero, all the way that we treat each other, that's what's left. That's yet what we got to clear up in the world. I guarantee you, kashrut, there's no better kashrut. I guarantee you, Shabbat in the community, there's not a question. Everybody does exact diktuk adin on Shabbat. All of the mitzvot, I don't doubt anybody here, anyone, it's holy territory. It is, it's heilig. I don't ever have to worry about it. Not whatsoever. But there is one little place we still have to worry. Ben Adam L'Chavero, how we treat our friend, what we say to our friend, the smile that we give our friend, the ability that we have to give a nice word, not to say something sharp, not to, chas v'shalom, say a word that may be upsetting. That is our tikkun, kinus. We said kinus the whole morning. Kinus are the same otiot, same letters as tikkun. We are here on Tisha B'Av to be metakein, to fix. I would like to say that Torah Anytime, I see they left a book, a chavruta for me. They left a book, The Daily Dose. And the Daily Dose is so beautiful. Probably half of it, or 3/4, talks about Ben Adam L'Chavero, how we treat each other. Everyone here, you are the best. You are an Am Kadosh. Each one of you, you come on a Tisha B'Av when some people could just say, you know what, if I go to sleep, I could wake up by 9 o'clock. Oh, they'll be done. I won't even realize I'm fasting anymore. Easy street. No. Not the people that come to Chazak. They say, I want to learn. Kihem chayenu ve'orech yomenu. This is our days. Everybody, you came, you deserve 10 times the reward of coming on a day to a regular She'ur Torah. Everybody, big brachot, big hatzlacha, big besurot tovot, a lot of simchas, a lot of chatanim and kalot, parnasa metzuya berevach, a lot of money for everybody here in the good way. All the children, all the young people should go b'derech haTorah. Children, banim uvnei banim, all the couples have children, Bezrat Hashem. Big shalom bayit. Everybody should get along. Big shalom in the community. Big refuot. Anybody that needs anything in the area of healing should have refuah shalema b'mhera, harbe yeshuot. We should all be zochet to binyan Beit HaMikdash b'mhera v'yameinu v'nomar